How long have you waited for the right person? Do you still believe there's a right person for you? Have you been alone all along and want to ask God to bring who is yours? God is interested in your progress in all aspects of life. He created you and wants you to prosper and have dominion over the earth. He knows clearly that you might not be able to achieve it alone and would need someone who you would run the race to reach the mark together. And if you consult him, he would ensure that you both are united to run the race and reach the mark together. Have you called upon him to bring that person who is yours? Are you still struggling to run the race alone? Or are you trying to force someone on yourself and run the race to reach the mark with the person? When you force things to happen in no distance time, you would be tired of trying to make everything work and would want to turn back. But you have wasted time, energy and resources trying out with the wrong person. It is therefore very important and necessary to call upon God to bring who is yours and wait patiently for him to bring the person and give a go-ahead for the race to start. We can never know it all, neither can we see it all, but we have a God who knows it all and sees it all. He has arranged everything from the beginning of time. All we have to do is just align and connect to him, and everything would fall into perspective. The problem we're having is lack of patience. We want to have it our way. We want to have it now. And we forget that God, who knows what is best for us and planned everything and programmed them into seasons. Imagine giving birth to a child and the child is already a graduate. It won't be nice. There is a process in everything. And just like we grew from childhood into adulthood, we must also wait on God with patience and hope that he would bring the person that is ours. It is a lifetime affair and not a period or season engagement. It is a union that is meant to last, and only death is to do us part. We must know that when we rush into this thing, we would also rush out in no distance time. Our walk with God should be a walk in patience and faith. He is not in a hurry to make you. You are a work in progress, and you must learn that patience is a virtue. Good things last, and good things take longer processing time. God, being the potter, is modeling that person that is yours to be the best you can get. You would not rush the job because he wants to have a perfect result. You need to be patient as you wait on him to finish the task and present the person who is yours to you. The longer the processing time, the better it would be. Patient people always have the choice to make a selection, just like the common saying, the patient dog gets the fattest bone. Others may be in a rush, and in the process end up picking based on physical attributes and likeness, and the concluding result, most often a short-lived relationship with pain and heartbreak. But God is interested in your case and is telling you today to be patient, as he's working on that person that is yours, and you would soon receive the person. Whatever God gives lasts forever, bringing joy and gladness, and the memory would not be short-lived. It must definitely bring peace and celebration. Greatness comes through the process. God is God. He is a respecter of the process. God has the power to create the heaven and earth in one day, but he didn't. He took everything a step at a time until everything was completed. The task to save man was also not done in one day. Christ had to come in the likeness of man, endured the normal growth process before taking up the cross. You don't walk with God in a hurry. He takes his time to do things, and it is through this time and period that he tests you to see how good you have become to take care of the task that would be handed over to you. Great men of old understand this aspect of God, and they never miss out in his things. They wait and endure patiently, so that they can rejoice with the Master tomorrow. When we are patient, prized things are willed to us. It was patience that made David have the kingdom rolled and willed to him, from being a wanderer running from the king to being the person sought after to be the king. He was patient. He never took the law into his hands. He came into situations where he can kill and end the life of the king, but he decided against it and waited for God to do it his way, and it was done for him. Because lack of patience and wait for the Lord, King Saul lost the throne. His impatience to wait for the Lord's prophet made him to go ahead to offer sacrifice to the Lord, something that was reserved for the priest and prophet. 1 Samuel 13, 8-14. His lack of patience made him lose something that he was meant to be his and his family forever. It was willed to David, who was patient with God, a man described as a man after God's heart. The 7 days were to test and teach the king patience and dependency on God. Saul waited the 7 days, but hurriedly, as soon as the week was up, he went straight to offer sacrifice, refusing to still wait for Samuel. This showed his weakness as not being a patient person, and as such, not good to remain king. Patience is needed in our walk with God. You must be humble and following. Noah was patient with God, kept building the ark and waiting for the rain while people mocked him and said there can't be rain to destroy the world. The matters of God would bring who is yours when your patient would be incomplete, without talking about Ruth. This was a woman who wasn't an Israelite, but married to an Israelite family. It was tragic that the person that married her and his brother died in their land, Moab. Their mother-in-law was bitter, was set out to return to her people, and asked the wives of her late son to go and probably get themselves husbands, since they were still young. The story of one of them, Orpah, ended here. She kissed her mother-in-law goodbye and left, and we never heard about her again. But the other daughter-in-law refused to leave, insisted on following her mother-in-law to her people and would live with her and die with her. She was willing to go to any length. Naomi allowed her and they returned together. Unknown to God, God was testing her perseverance level. He was on the mission of actualizing the descendants of a great king and also the lineage where the Messiah would come from. She presented herself as a patient woman in the land of Israel before God, honoring and obeying her mother-in-law, and at the end of the day got married to a wealthy man from the clan of Naomi, and the story of King David would be incomplete without her, because she was the great-grandmother and from lineage came the Messiah. Her co-wife that left wasn't heard of again. Patience brought for her someone that God prepared for her, and it was the best. Patience is important. It is one of the fruit of the Spirit. It is a fundamental requirement in our work with God. Galatians 5:22-23. But the fruit of the Spirit, the result of His presence within us, is love, unselfish concern for others, joy, inner peace, patience, not the ability to wait, but how we act while waiting, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. You can't receive what God has for you without patience. Patience is a test of true love. 1 Corinthians 13:4.